he's coming. He was getting water. What are y'all up to? Can't see our little skeleton quite as well. What did we decide we were gonna name it? Do y'all remember? Mr. Green something? Oh, Karen's the best. She can tell people how to do anything. Oh, Jude, go you. Jude got a smartphone. You get you the YouTube app. It's gonna be much easier if you have the app. I'm so happy you got that, Jude. Mr. Green Jeans. See, I knew y'all would remember.
Mr. Green Jeans?
Yeah, that's his name.
Yes.
I have iced tea minus the ice in a Starbucks glass. Because I already drank the other 2 teas. Okay, so here's the thing I want to ask people. Do y'all remember My Fit Foods? It was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago when it was popular. And it was like prepared foods, and you would go to the place and you could either let them show you what to get. It was very, very costly. But for people who wanted someone to show them exactly, hey, Miss Christy, what to eat, it worked out like, first I'm gonna see if anybody remembers before I go any further, because what happened to them is quite interesting.
15 minutes later, do you like a honey? No, we don't.
Well, and I don't know if it was just,
chat.
Did they really?
No.
Oh, I was like, what? No, but wait till they answer and then I will go on. Because I made first of all, I made something that they used to sell, but also I wanted to know if anybody remembers when they went out of business literally overnight.
Who was that?
Like, yeah. Okay, so My Fit Foods. You know, okay, so, and it was good. They had something called a Good Morning Sunshine that had like a little layer. They were in the things like people prepare their food now with like a layer of rice. And I'm pretty sure it was rice. Is quinoa kind of like rice?
A little bit, yeah.
It might have been that.
Well,
I'm not sure. But then there was a layer of ground turkey. And then there was a layer of scrambled eggs and then cheese over the top of it. It was good. So I made that tonight.
Well, a lot of it. So there's enough for tonight and for lunch tomorrow.
And of course, instead of quinoa, it's white rice. And instead of turkey, it's beef. But
it's good.
All of that is to say, they literally went out of business overnight. One of the partners got caught in a scandal. And the other partner did something, and they literally locked all the doors.
And that was the end of that?
That was it. And it was crazy. Anyway.
He always decides it's time to
It might have been a Texas thing. I'm not sure. But it was good. The problem was, though, if you let them do your snacks, too, you would get a little prepared food thing. And they'd literally give you, like, 4 little stalks of celery with a scoop of almond butter. And, and a boiled egg. And you'd pay like $4.99 for that.
That's a lot of money. Shit. That's money.
So he's talking about ownage pranks. He was a fan first.
You guys ever watch ownage pranks? The guy he's got all these impressions, but he can get away with it. You know, he's got all different kinds of nationalities where he does impressions. It was a white guy doing it. They'd be calling him racist, but he can get away with it because he is a minority.
I think it kind of would be like that meta fast thing, like the prepared foods. This one was very protein based and encouraged eating several meals throughout the day. So anyway, I was just curious if anybody remembered it. It appears they don't. So my story was for naught.
Are we gonna write the memo to work that I'm not a meth head?
I know.
I thought that was funny.
Hey there, Captain and Mrs. Kirley. I like it when y'all do that. That's very cool. Yeah, someone needs to let Sean's work know that he's not on methamphetamines and he can't just work all the time without a break.
It's like you guys ever have a job where you're just working and you're working hard, you know, and you're about at like hour 8 and someone just comes to you and matter-of-factly says, well, I'm going to need for you to like do this over here. Well, or I'm going to need for you to go to this meeting. It's like, but that is going to make it an 11-hour day. Right. I'm going to need for you to do that. And it's like,
but then they kind of dick them around with the like how they spread out the hours and stuff on the
so
paychecks.
I'll get ready to do it, and they'll be like, no, why don't you go ahead and go to lunch? And then no, it won't be lunch at this point. It would be dinner.
When they spread them around and do whatever, it's like you can't really count on what the paycheck's gonna be, and they screw you around a little bit. But it's a good federal job.
The thing is if I at some point you just go look at them and you go, I'm not on like speed where I can just do this all the time. And they're like,
would they laugh?
Right. You know.
Everybody else goes to bed at like 7. Thank you, not all who wonder. I popped in today.
Thank you.
When I was making dinner, I listened for a second. She was talking about earthquakes in the area. I was able to catch a little bit of it. I was making dinner, but thank you for that. That's so awesome.
That is, I've always said, every time I see that name, I'm like, that's a cool name.
It's a very cool name. Yeah. I peek in, being, yes, with the, yeah, I don't need to do anything to the straw. Just drink out of it, right? The straw. That doesn't bother you bumping it? You're okay with that?
No, look, okay. Look.
He's got his hand on your shoulder. Hey,
yes,
Dragonfly.
Yes, Mr. Green Jean.
He took a nap, but it's almost kind of like I'll lay down with him, and then he'll fall asleep, so I'll go to creep out or whatever. It's almost like a toddler, because he sleeps better when I'm there if I have to. And then you wake back up, and then he goes back to sleep, but it's cute. He's like...
I feel like I miss, like he'll have a football game on for white noise, you know? Yeah. And I feel like I wake up and I look and I go, what'd I miss?
Yeah,
I look around and then
I should have turned it off.
And then you're like, because you can, the pantry from the kitchen, you can look right into our bedroom, and so she'll be coming out, and she notices that my eyes are open, and she'll look, and she'll go,
oh, Jude.
Hey, and I'm like, hey, you can take a nap. Oh no, I'm getting up. I'm fixing to get up, and then.
You don't have to get up. You need to take a nap.
It's either that or.
He looked. When you're sleeping in the bed all the way on that side by yourself with all the pillows, you look like very, very small.
Yeah, and sometimes he's under there.
I turn on golf for background noise. Yeah, that's kind of like would be white noise, wouldn't it?
What did she turn on?
She turns on golf for background noise.
When I got home from work, like on my lunch break, I came home on a lunch break, and I was in the den, and I could hear. I didn't know the documentary that you were playing, you know, the one about that actress that didn't. Oh, but all I could hear.
Y'all watch Absolute Oddity? He puts out some good stuff. Go ahead.
But it was like jazz music.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear the dun, 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 and I'm like, Mandi doesn't like listen to jazz, just like stand alone, like.
There's a channel called Absolute Oddity, and most of the time what he does is like old vintage true crime. But today he did it on a movie star that went from silent into the talkies and then ended up being a critic. But anyways, her name was like Joan Wood or something like that. I usually watch just about everything he puts out. Today was interesting, not fascinating. But yeah, Sean was like, what are you?
Yeah, because if you're like in just some part of your house or you're somewhere and you just hear something like you don't normally hear, it's... What is, and it's your wife or your husband or whatever, and you're like, what are they watching? There's no way that she's just listening to that. So I walk in there and it's a documentary that's on her phone. So yeah,
y'all should binge watch. You have to do it again because I shared it. Okay. You're the one that knows how to go back in. Soon, hopefully, they'll deliver. So like I got some drawer liner. I showed it to Karen, but it's like shabby chic drawer liner for the dress that I painted. Explaining drawer liner to Sean is hilarious. Like what it is.
I mean,
I said it lines the drawers and makes it pretty.
But what do I know? What's the one thing I'll know about everything you want?
William Smith, is he here?
Is he?
I see someone saying hi to William, and the one I remember that comes in is William Smith.
This is William Wilson.
Thank you.
William Wilson.
Watches YouTube drama. Yeah, there he is. It is William Wilson. My says the same thing when I'm watching YouTube drama. Thank you. I think it's very, and the purpose originally of drawer liners is because you can wipe them down, where it's not just the wood. Oh. But I feel like you get to a point in your life when you've got it like that to buy a drawer liner. But then, like, you spend most of your younger years, especially newlywed years, you're like, yeah, I can't afford drawer liner.
Well,
or silverware organizer. I can't get that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You just
I
throw it in
remember
the
when
drawer.
you looked at it before.
Hey, Reese's.
And then you looked at it again and you're like, I always remember the price of stuff though.
Well, and I always take off $10. Like I said, oh, there's gonna be Amazon will be coming out of the account and it'll be like $40. He goes, well, something came out for $49. I said, oh, that's it.
That's it.
And I was like, I shave off $10
Yeah.
off of it. So it was like, it doesn't matter, but it's funny. It's like, it makes it sound so much better when you knock it down a little bit.
That's why things say $49.99.
Exactly. But it's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, no matching dishes. Yeah, you know how it is way back when you first get started. Sean was showing me a picture where he was 10 years ago and you were laying with Bear and Lily. And of course I looked at Bear and Lily and then I'm like, what bed are you laying in? It had like a leather headboard.
Yeah, it was
like a Rooms to Go headboard.
Yeah, that might have been what it was.
Yeah, Rooms to Go sells that headboard.
Well,
where did it go?
Probably got left in one of the places.
When everybody was like, let's go, like the chickens.
Yeah.
My headboard that it's become famous, was from Mattress Firm. When I bought the mattress, I was like, hey, can I get that? And they way overpriced headboards, but they would finance it with the bed. So I was like, I'll take that.
The one that we have now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
It was quite impressive, like when you would see Mrs. ATX on the boardroom or doing her vlogs, whatever, and you'd see this massive headboard behind her, and then I got to see it in person.
Yes, Karen. Karen and I are gonna go antiquing someday. Yeah, that and the meat thermometer. There was a couple of things that I had shown when I was live that he wanted to lay hands on. The meat thermometer.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of things. That was the main one.
Well, the pizza thing.
The pizza cutter.
Yeah, that your daughter can't stand.
Yeah, my daughter's got a phobia of pizza cutters, like the round ones that it's weird. They make her when you rattle it. I don't do that because it's not nice, but it makes literally makes her nauseous. She can't handle it. And I Googled it. I can't find anybody else that has had that. She thinks that maybe she saw like a scary movie that was kind of supposed to be funny
when she was
way
little,
back when, and that's
maybe it's something because it all happened with the childhood. Every one of us.
Did I see? She said.
Karen said Loretta's gonna go with y'all.
Oh yes, I was like, I didn't see Loretta in her. Yeah, I'm all about it. I know a little bit more than I used to before I worked the assignment that I finished. It was that whole house was furnished with antiques.
But they liked that you could talk your way through that. They knew, right? They were like.
Yeah, I knew enough to carry a conversation about different period furniture and different time periods and what the type of furniture was like. Hers was very, I would say, more Victorian than antebellum. Or
Miss Christie says I love antiques too. Well, you know what? Everybody's just gonna get on a bus
and go antiquing.
We got 4 bedrooms here.
Okay, so here's a question. A lot of people that go antiquing all over the country go in RVs. Do they make an RV that has an ample, like a big room all the way in the back, almost like a storage unit that you can put the antiques in?
It's a UPS truck. You just rent one of those with a
no, but you know what I mean? Like, that would be, hey, Moxie, wouldn't that be like, that would be smart. If it was almost like,
what do the American pickers drive when they drive around? Something like that, right?
Question. I love the way antiques smell, musty but comforting. That was how her house smelled when I walked in. It's
called the toy hauler. That's what Black Dragonfly says.
Really? Okay. So they do have one.
American Pickers, they had, what was their truck? I thought they just had a van or a couple of vans or whatever, and they drive around. American Pickers filmed in Dawsonville.
Did you see that place where it has the sign outside?
I pass it every day.
You never told me the thing.
I noticed it about the 50th time that I passed it. It's just this little sign.
Hey, Southern Tea Toy Hauler. I'm gonna Google that.
I am an antique.
It does. I like how you said it has a comforting smell. When I walked in, it reminded me of when I used to tour plantations with my grandparents. Even though the house itself was only 20 years old, it was built like that and outfitted with antiques. So you felt like you were walking through a historical thing. Why are you looking at me?
I like looking at you. I'm a little tired tonight, and my wife is gorgeous. So when she talks, sometimes I just look at her. Do you guys notice how I just stare? She's got like the. I'm sorry, I won't. I don't want to embarrass you.
No, it's. I was. No, you can't.
You pulling the glasses out tonight?
I can't.
Okay.
I could, but they won't stay on with this.
Too tired.
Big toys for those who live on the road. Yes.
I'm too tired for shenanigans tonight, so we'll just do the live.
There's a user named Shenanigans I've seen somewhere on YouTube. I'm trying to remember if they love us or hate us. The Sawyer wouldn't found his toy. He wouldn't
all
found
day.
it.
He won't touch it, but right when he needs to be quiet, he'll find the.
That's what I feel like, a garage. Like you would have to have enough space to bring some of it. Toy haulers are usually for four-wheelers, side-by-sides, and dirt bikes, but they can be used for antiques. Okay.
Yeah, they're just trailers.
That answers
you
no, but it's part of the RV.
But remember, I always said I want one of those enclosed
Hey Viola,
trailers.
how are you? It's okay, Moxie.
God, my typing sucks. Oh.
No, we read typos.
I mean, yeah, you should see her when she gets going, talks to text sometimes. I think that she's in trouble.
Karen likes it too. He is very, very sweet. I have to get used to the fact that, not,
Reese's, you
not
do
to say,
stare
oh
at
no,
her.
it's not like that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I used to be like.
I know a couple of things about my wife. Number one, well, I know a bunch of things, but that I'm super in love with her, and I like to just watch her, and that sometimes you're not like 100% comfortable when I'm doing it. I mean, you don't think it's bad.
You're right. No, you're right. It's one of the biggest things I had to learn in life was like, and a lot of ladies do this, when someone says, "Oh, I love your shirt," instead of just going, "Oh, it's just an old shirt," like making an excuse, like automatically going, "Oh, it's just an old shirt. I put it on and whatever." Just say, "Oh, thank you." That's all you have to do. Accept the
compliment.
Right.
Learn to take a compliment.
That was
when I got, that you don't have to. You don't have to learn.
No, but when I got sober, that was very, very hard for me. Was to just, if someone said, "Oh, you've got beautiful eyes." Oh, thank you. They're really dry. Like, you don't have to say all that. You can just say, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And you don't have to immediately parrot back, "I like yours too." Because it doesn't.
That's not what they're doing. They're not fishing.
You don't have to go, "Well, I love your shoes."
That's absolutely true.
You know what
because
I mean?
when people say that, they normally are saying it for a reason.
Right.
And a lot of times, if you just throw a compliment right back at them, it kind of
do y'all see me reach for this phone the whole time?
It kind of minimizes their compliment if you just throw one right back.
Right. He's a little bit sleepy. He always goes, he's like, "Oh," and then he like. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to share it. You can't take it from me because I can't see.
Like sometimes when people, like if people throw me a compliment, I'll say thank you. But then there's like an awkward silence afterwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I told you about what the one girl said, that we were talking and all that. And she was, she says, you're just kind of like a knight in shining armor type of guy, is what she said. That's how I picture you. Tall and you're always here to help. It's a knight in shining armor. And I went, thank you. And I was like, that's a great. And she was like, and after a second, she goes, "Oh, I'm not hitting on you." And I was like, she goes, "I'm not hitting on you." And I was like, "No, that was an awesome compliment. And I appreciated it." She's
been like, "And why aren't you hitting on me?
Yeah,
What's wrong with me?"
You're not. I'm not hitting on you.
No, but that is the way
you
Sean
are.
is.
Yes, you
Sean
are.
He's very good when people, he knows when they're, like, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
I've seen him when he gets flirted with. He handles it very, very well. Without being like, you don't have to shut it down.
Hey,
like,
Paula.
Hey,
yeah,
Paula.
I mean, it especially a guy, it all goes back to my theory that guys are super immature when they're in their teens and their 20s compared to their female counterparts.
Hey, Missy, I missed her.
We learn when we get older. I think I'm say this modestly if I can, that I was like skinny and gangly, mullet and all that. I think I kind of grew into, like who I am, body wise and all that. Because I was real skinny.
The Reese said a few of us went hard for you both tonight. We love you guys. I got the boot again, Moxie. So was that, there was 2 streams, right? There was one earlier today and then there was one this evening. Always appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all always have our, even if we don't see it all, we know and we appreciate it.
Sometimes I know that people go hard for us and all that, and I have to go and I have to figure out. I have to see why, because I don't watch it live. I don't do any of that. So I have to man, they're really.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
They're tagging us in a bunch of stuff, and they have our back. What happened?
That's very cool. Thank you, Karen. She dropped our PayPal link for us.
Yay.
I'm not being I'm just gonna pin it. That doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna pin it. Well, no, but I pin things all through the stream, so I pin it.
Did you have somebody that you said you had feelings for, and they told you that they didn't want to ever talk to you again?
Yeah, my thing is for most people, when you decide you have feelings for them on the second date, that gets you the idea that they're not interested. But then sometimes the man has to take out a restraining order. We only went on 2 dates. That was it, just 2 dates. But I love you.
Some people can break up. Some people.
So the guy goes to the magistrate and he's like, "Look,
I need an EPO.
I met this chick on Tinder one time. We did it one time. She loves me. I tried to tell her. Okay." They'll be like, "Yeah, who is it? Oh, yeah."
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just
that's how that goes.
We have there's a laminated piece of paper about her. You just take a grease pencil and write in what you need.
That's for some people, there's closure. For everybody else, there's restraining orders.
Could you?
That's pretty good. Yeah. That's a pretty good. Even
Moxie
if it wasn't.
Said, could you lift your shirt and shake? I am not. I'm not going to do that tonight.
And then you have to. Then if it's still not working, I'll rip my hat off and throw my hair down. So typical. But yeah, I was of the mindset that when we used to people would drop the link and I would be like, oh, just like we were talking about. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I don't, and now it's it's a little bit different. I feel like if you're trying to not make fun of other people who do it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really make fun of people who do it.
I didn't make fun of people, but I think that, yeah, it's there.
I did, so yeah, she said she tried to get the gift cards on the list, but is the address still jacked? Someone said even though they don't show the address, that you can try to check out the whole way through and it doesn't, okay. So that's what I'm saying. Someone else said the same thing, and Presley said the same thing. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong, where
hey, buddy.
Used to it didn't show you the email or the address, but it would just send it. Okay, I'll work on that again tonight, man.
And the thing is
I thought I figured it out.
People will DM me or whatever and go, "Hey, your Amazon wish list doesn't work." I'm like, Mandi.
Yeah, you haven't told. We finally, Karen and I troubleshooted it. I never troubleshooted or troubleshot it.
We troubleshot.
Okay, troubleshot it for hours, and we finally got it where it was clickable and it went to the right thing. But now the address isn't doing what it's supposed to do.
You should probably just do a whole new one.
But we keep doing whole new ones and it never gets solved. But I will. I promise I'll fix it. I just got to figure out how.
All right. So it's Sunday and it's football, and the Falcons won today. Surprisingly, so that if the Falcons won, they beat San Francisco. So it's probably about 28 degrees in hell right now because of that.
Really?
Yeah, the Falcons won. Remember you used to get a.
So the Braves are out, and then Falcons are still in. The
Falcons won though. I am glad that the Padres knocked the Dodgers out though. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna pull for the Padres for the rest of the time, because the Philadelphia Phillies are filthy for what they did.
That wasn't very cool when they were booing or doing the chop when they were about to lose.
I'm actually being sarcastic when I talk about
Thank you, Paula.
Whenever a team beats one of my teams, I call their city filthy. New Orleans is filthy, but not really, but just filthy.
Jude is still here. I guess Hope and Jude didn't see each other. Yeah, he always tells the Saints to go back to their filthy city.
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints, it's filthy city. Get out of here with your filthy selves.
But he was really upset about and I think so too, that was pretty tacky to start doing.
Well, so a lot of people think that the chop and the chant is racist. But if you in Arrowhead in the Chiefs game, they were doing it.
Yeah.
They were doing it in the Chiefs game. So the Philly fans, when it was pretty obvious that they were going to win and beat the Braves and knock them out, they started doing the chant in a mocking manner, and I was like,
"That's not cool.
You filthy beasts."
You got over it pretty quick then.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get over it when your team won the championship last year. You know, it's like, it's not like years and years of frustration. So it's like, well, we had a good run, and teams rarely repeat year after year. You know,
right?
It's just the odds are that they're not. So it wasn't that hard to.
So the whole hand on the Bible, so that whole thing went through to the hand on the Bible and the praying and the whole thing. That usually, did she cry for women around the world? Usually, a complete cycle includes crying because she's depressed, then crying for women everywhere, and then the praying and the hand holding, and then whatever, and then sleeps for 2 days.
Does she cry for women who don't pay their rent?
It always women all over the world.
They cry for women who can't keep a man, and cry for.
She calls it. They
cry
hurt my
for the
feelings.
Woman who is like awesome on a pole, and your ex left her for it.
That's how it goes. There's a complete cycle, and then it's always the women around the world. It was like the last step before the praying in the Bible. And that's when she really, really, look at me. We pinned our PayPal, and I'm sitting there talking about other people, whatever. But that, y'all better pay that girl.
She needs a date.
I'm not even sure that it was the Bible. It was like.
It was probably
huge.
It was probably the New Testament. There was a couple old Bibles that we had, so that's probably that. It's probably
she
one
danced for women's rights in Iran, I think, earlier.
Oh my God.
I mean, when everybody knows her better than her, she was crying because her analytics showed she had viewers around the globe, like she was seen and heard from VPN numbers.
Hey,
analytic numbers.
You know when people get outraged and they have like, y'all ever heard DC Media Girl get outraged? You know, because she, her culture and her religion and all that, and she starts speaking in like Hebrew and stuff, cussing people out and things like that. That's kind of funny. Today,
when she was trying to justify why her boyfriend was interested in the beginning in this girl that's in their community, I don't even have any idea who these people are, but she's like, you have to understand, he'd been single for a while and he was very horny. And I was like, Sean, what would you do if I said that as like an explanation?
I mean, listen, and I've said this ever since I started watching DC Media Girl. I like her. Basically, she's likable. She's like, to me, she's sort of like, it's like Diane. I like Diane, basically. She's done some stuff that is off-putting. But, I mean, DC Media Girl, she is, it's not even shameless for the way that she white knights for negs. It's like, wow. Yeah. If Mandi said the things about me that she says about negs to exclaim their love for each other, I'd be like, Mandi, can it, man?
Right.
I would be. I'd be like, stop.
And then when she starts, she's like, his hair, his gorgeous, his tattoos are gorgeous, his clothes, his guitar playing, his singing, his.
I'd be like, girl,
stop.
God, man, you got me, okay? We're fucking. You got me,
Yeah.
And I basically have always, from the time I've heard DC Media Girl, I like the way she streams. I like the way she does a vlog. It's just, man, it's that horse is beat to glue at this point, though. It has,
Paula sometimes is like, it says she's looking for a 3rd-degree burn playing with that Bible.
Yeah.
I just find that it's all very predictable. And it's predictable not only because it's a complete manic cycle, although it's a complete grift. Like, I don't know if she makes money off of it or not, but it's just, there's a whole cycle.
I mean, yes.
Some of it's mania, but most of it is like, okay, I'm not getting enough doing this. This morning she tried to start with
cycle. There's a cycle. Right. You're right, and it has to do with the mental state, and that kind of dictates how she's going to do her stream. And so she's like the supreme like village idiot type. She's the supreme like lolcow that from the DC that we kind of do, but they're everywhere. I can watch. Mandi knows this, and I want to ask y'all something because it's something that Mandi has said to me. and I wonder, and I wanted to ask you why. Maybe, and you can tell me when I ask it. No, well, I don't want to say it here. I don't. You might say I don't want to tell you here. Maybe later, but I'm pretty good at watching people, and you know, over from time to time, and tell you they're in cycle. And this is where, I mean, my friends, everybody, I can watch what they're saying. And Mandy's like, well, this was said and that was done. I said, because they're here in their cycle. And I don't mean, you know, I mean like mental cycle. You know, like, yeah, you know, I can watch people, okay, that one's going to shut it down for a few days or this or that. Like Tammy, Tam has an obvious cycle.
Yeah.
You know, she has an obvious cycle. And it's our friends that when they vlog, I can say, yeah, well, you know, that one is she's whatever.
Yeah.
But Mandy says she thinks I'm an empath, so I don't know.
I do think that. I think a lot of people do. I don't think that that's speaking out of line. HG Tudor did a thing today.
And then HG, and I think this is what's telling, is that in a lot of people who do studies in narcissism and this and that say that empaths stick and stay in these narcissistic
That's
relationships
what he said, yeah.
a lot longer than, you know, non-empaths.
Right.
Which I would say to myself, well, thank God there's a reason why I stayed there for so long. And I'm only half kidding when I say that. It's like, once you're gone, you're gone. And it in a lot of ways, Mandy, you know, made sure, you know, like when I started messing with you, I fell in love with you. And then you were like, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
But anyway.
I know how to fix I still see y'all talking about the address. I know how to fix it. If I was streaming on this phone and not that phone, I could fix it right now.
What's wrong?
Oh, we're just talking about hey, Colleen. We're just talking about our address being messed up on the wish list.
Oh.
He's spot on and rude as fuck, but he's a narc. That's it. I think he got court ordered to go to, the court ordered site that he's a narcissist, and he was like, all right.
But remember this, people. Remember, if HG Tudor is a narcissist, and we all pretty much believe he is, then he is not doing these streams and doing this stuff.
Yes, calling.
And giving the information and giving these informative things for altruistic means. He's not doing that. Mm-hmm. He's doing that because we have become his supply. Mm-hmm. And you know what's the thing that I've noticed about him is he will tell you that. He'll say right there and tell you that he's using you. Mm-hmm. And that he doesn't, you know,
when they were like, oh, your voice is so, you know, and Randy wasn't being inappropriate. She's just like, or maybe it was when he goes, you have an amazing voice, whatever. And he was like, but he also was like, I'll take that statement.
Yep.
And I will, yeah. And I'll
take a whole, I will see where that leads me as far as what you can do.
Really? Let it go? You've never heard of HG Tudor?
Wow.
She must not. He hadn't been on their show in a while.
See,
but now we should pay him to be on. That would be, because you can pay him.
Yeah, that's
to do a panel.
Well, Diane did pay him.
Right.
Diane did pay him. Now he didn't.
Night, William. You'll have a good night. Be back on.
Thank you, William.
Okay, feed sandwich. Wow, that's interesting. Reese says, "Oh, feed the Hubs a sandwich." It's fascinating, but he's also very what would you call it?
Narcissistic.
Well, when he talks about the lesser and this and that, did he make up those words?
No.
Someone disagrees with him, he will tell them it's truly noted and dismissed. Probably, he's at least honest with it.
Yeah, he sometimes it's amazing. Like, I was very standoffish, and you know, I have a right and a reason to not, like when Diane had HG Tudor on and she was talking about people that have narcissistic relationships or have been through it, they can come up on the panel. I don't see how someone who was a victim of a narcissist would want to do that with a narcissist on panel. That was me. That was my feeling. Yeah. I was like, oh no. But you know, teach their own.
Yeah,
teach their own.
I normally share it if I've listened to it and it's poignant or whatever. And sometimes it's just if it's a shitty catty thing, I'll share it if it's, you know what I mean? Like
what?
Like if it's spot on, yeah.
Well, I've said this before. I was absolutely, I felt validated because a long time ago I said Meghan Markle was a narc. You know, I heard her talk and this and that and what was going on. I said that chick right there is a narcissist. And what was it, about 6 months later when he did all his vlogs about Meghan Markle being a narcissist? I was like, yes, sir.
He's got a few movie stars that he points out that they're narcissists. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but Sean's never asked me to make a sandwich. As a matter of fact, I don't think he'd want me to make him a sandwich. I think he's very particular about his sandwich.
I will go as far as to saying, like, if I'm in bed and I'm eating or whatever, Mandi is very, very good to me as far as, like, she takes my dishes when I'm done eating. You know, and I can, to the point that, like, I can, like, with a napkin, you know, and then just hand it to her without words. And when I was first doing that, I felt really like that was a defensive thing to do.
Really?
Oh yeah, like to, you know, like if I'm like eating food just to go, here, can you take my plate? I never had anyone take my plate other than my mother. I never had anyone take my plate for me.
Pink Life, that's amazing.
And she's happy to do it. And sometimes she'll just kind of make the rounds, like as I lit, because I'll take a candy wrapper and throw it behind the headboard.
You don't really do that.
Well,
though.
not anymore, but you remember you said
no, but if that's which way I'm going, and also I just enjoy doing it.
And it's just yet another thing that line of what
Paula.
What to expect. I mean, she just takes care of me, and it was at first though, like I felt like, okay, if she wants to come and clean up after me, that's fine.
Kelly girl.
But for me to ask her to clean up behind me or to just take something is not cool.
No. Well,
and she's like, it is cool. It's totally cool.
I'm laughing at what everybody's saying. It's like she wouldn't even take your effing dish. Jesus Christ, she's lazy.
But I mean, it's not just her. It's been my whole life. You know, my
that
army life too is like there ain't nobody cleaning up after your dumb ass when you're in the chow hall or when you're in school or you're wherever. You know, you clean up.
I always feel like the same thing with like along that line is like if you can't complain, oh, I'm sorry, Diane.
But you're here, Diane. Thank you.
If you can't complain about your health or whatever to your mother and your wife, then who can you? Mainly, like, you know what I mean? Like, if most, like, it's like, well, I have my arm hurts and like, my son always has a little bit of a list of things that he wants to unload on me. And at first, Sean was like, man, it's like, and I'm like, but that's what your mom's for.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Your mom
He's
is
this
the
army
one
sergeant now, but he'll be like, oh.
Your mom is the one that's like, well, most moms are the ones that are like, oh, have you gone to the, out of genuine concern.
Yeah.
And then to a lesser extent, your wife. But if you've already exhausted that option with complaining, you go to your mom.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
But I don't really go to my mom for much anymore.
No, but I mean, like, she's very perceptive. Like, if she's like, do you have a headache? And you're like, yeah, I have a headache. And then she'll ask you questions about it and things like that. Moms know.
Yeah, my mom
I'm glad you got here, Diane. We were just rehashing the latest goings on in the cycle of a grifter. Speaking of grifter,
he just decided that he's very tired all of a sudden. He just knocked out right there.
Did he really?
Stopped what he was doing.
And laid down on his back and went to sleep.
And went to sleep because he's a Sawyer Brown.
He's very tired.
Very tired.
I put the chickens to bed tonight. Sean picks them up. He picks one and picks them up when they're asleep, but they didn't have to worry about me picking them. Look at, he's so tired.
He's as tired as Papa Power right here.
Let me see the puppy. Look at him. Look, he was like I was asleep, Dad.
He's a 3-year-old. He's a 3-year-old Sawyer Brown.
You see him, how tired he is? And Sean, he'll go right back to sleep with Sean holding him. He doesn't do it for me, but he'll go right back to sleep. Yeah, he's a little Shih Tzu.
He's very, very tired.
He's a very tired Shih Tzu.
He says I spend all day being very ferocious.
You know what he's going to be for Halloween? I think we're going to make him a pit bull for Halloween.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's either that or he's going to be a Brahma chicken. I haven't decided.
Look at it. I feel that way too. When I was married, I loved doing the things, even though I worked like a fiend. It was relaxing to be domestic once I got. That is exactly that. I think that summarizes it perfectly. And Karen says to me, it's a blessing to please my husband. He never expects it, and he's very independent, but he loves it when I do. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not about being subservient, and it's not about whatever. but you also aren't going to get a gold medal every time you make your husband dinner. But if you like, remember, like, I don't understand the remembering the times that, like, one time I remember I made bacon and eggs, and well, you threw them at her, or no, she threw them at you. Because you said, I want bacon and eggs. And she's like, so one time I threw them at him.
So,
Did she throw you?
I don't know. Here's the thing that again, I try to remind people is that's the stuff that she'll say and doesn't understand that it's not cool. You know, it's not that it's like, you know, it's not even that, okay, I choose not to do this for my man or anything. But she says it in a way that it's off-putting. It's like if you're a dude and you're kind of watching her for the first time and you're like, all right, I'm listening to her. Yeah, she's kind of got crazy eyes. She got nipples pointing in 2 different zip codes and all that.
Talks a lot about her ex.
Talks a lot about her ex all the time, and it's very clear that she doesn't enjoy sex. But other than that, maybe, and then she'll say something like, and I threw this, but no. It's like, she's like the equivalent of a guy with no game.
That's true.
You know?
That's very true. And I think she's putting she doesn't care if it's an obvious lie.
It doesn't care if it's a lie.
No,
yeah.
and she's putting I have feelings for you out there after like 2 or 3 dates. Yep. She's doing that. I have feelings for you. And the guy's like, whoa.
The only time a guy may go, let me play this a little bit longer if she's like a rocket in bed or whatever, it's like,
and we've already said 2 out of 2 dudes say she's not.
And it's not, I mean, I don't want to get in the tit for tat like we both, you know,
am I a
she
rocket?
says, yes. But you know, you gotta enjoy it. You gotta kind of like, it can't be this automatic thing. And you know, if you go out with a guy for a couple of times and the sex is good and you go, I have feels, a lot of conniving guys will go, okay, well, let's just see where it goes because he likes what he's getting.
Right.
But if they immediately off the top of their heads go, no, well, I mean, it's respectable to go, no, I don't feel the same way or whatever. And that's just mutual respect. I don't, you know, I'm falling for you. Well, you better get the fuck back up. You know, that's okay to say that to people, you know, if that's, you know, it's true. But if you're borderline having to go get a restraining order or a cease and desist, there's more to it. You know, there's more to it.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much. Yeah, she believes her. She's now, unfortunately, trying to say that she had 2 live births and 1 miscarriage. A couple people were like, what is that about? I have no idea. I have no idea where she got that. I remember one time way back when she was talking, when she still lived in her house, was talking about her choice to terminate a pregnancy. She then said she had never had a miscarriage. She was lucky that she had never had one. I don't know. I don't know where the truth is. Sean had a vasectomy a long time ago, so it wasn't his.
And I mean, and even if I knew the reality of that history, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think that in this situation, she's just full of crap and she's just going with it in mania. But it's like a medical diagnosis. You know, what I know, I'm not going to share with, you know, it's just not, that's not cool.
And I'm totally not interested.
Yeah. But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
If someone had to drug me on, there was never, you know, falling in love with Mandi and I'm in the DC and people put me on panel like they wanted to do.
I think so.
Like Real Stream News tried to do. Like a bunch of people wanted me to get on panel and talk about the breakup. I wouldn't have answered a question like that anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't answer that question.
Yeah.
So
he probably wouldn't read her medical records on the live stream either. There's that.
I know what's wrong with that crazy bitch, but I'm not gonna, I'm just never gonna divulge information like that.
She said everything happened to her depends on which Lifetime movie she's watched that day. Very, very true. And the thing is like, she's always like, they talk about me 24/7 or whatever. Obviously we don't. Sean works. We're on live about an hour a night. We spend about 5 or 10 minutes totally together. So that doesn't constitute all day and all night.
But it's like, even when we are talking about her, it's you know, it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, you keep talking and you keep thinking up lies and we...
Chris liked the crazy bitch.
Who said
when you said, I don't know, I could know what the crazy bitch is wrong. I know what's wrong with her, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
I mean, it's... And I know there's a lot of people out there that have said, you know, you haven't, you know, taken a platform and drugged the crap out of her. And for that, I have their respect. You know, it's like I don't have to do that. She's gonna keep performing for you. She's gonna keep doing what she does. It needs no explanation.
No.
You know?
Everybody knows the truth. And Trisha, Amy May in your chat is not the Amy May from back in the Amy Slayton days. This one is a kid. Take the time to go into the profile and look. It is not the Amy May. So when you're talking about DT and hot dogs and stuff, you are talking to what appears to be a kid. So there's that.
She needs to find her version of DC Media Girl that'll just like white knight for her all the time. It's not going to happen, but could you imagine that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
people would watch that.
The only dude I can think of in the community that would be able to drag and would go for her. I can't think of anyone.
No.
Maybe Elvis Travels, but he's not even like here anymore. Rich Life couldn't drag anybody if he tried.
Mm-mm. What is DC Media Girl call it? The Sunday roast?
Yeah,
the Sunday roast, like dinner.
Yeah, it's like DC Media. You are well spoken, and you definitely can put some thoughts together, but you don't roast people, because if you did,
I mean, we have learned. I don't know. I mean, there's something to what Hussey says, and what people say, because she spends a lot of time trying to debunk what they're saying. Mm-hmm. You know, she spends a lot of time trying to defend things. what they're saying is not important.
It's silly things.
It's not important, but Karen,
I'm going to ask him, but I should think he's going to say that that's considered contact. If you could look her in the face right now, what would you say to her?
I wouldn't look her in the face. I have nothing to say.
Hey, Levi Lace, how are you?
I don't have anything to say, so.
You really don't?
No.
Didn't it? Yeah, he didn't when we were in.
I get all the information and all the reminders and all the affirmation that I'll need just from being here.
Yeah.
And just by still being in the community.
She does drag herself. She'll say some stuff that is absolutely, like when she said, he sure did ride on my chest talking about Sean, and I'm like, you just said that. You legit just said that. Oh, and please tell us how a lesbian dresses.
Remember,
curious.
I did see that.
I'm very curious to know that.
I did see that soundbite where she said, when I go to work, I can be me and I can be sexual, but when I go to work, I'm not. I dress like a lesbian.
And she said, then she tried to backtrack and say, I don't wear Birkenstocks.
Do you guys like, okay.
What? I would love Birkenstocks.
Every once in a while, she would go down to I like girls and stuff, and people would be like, Sean, what? And I'm like, she doesn't like girls. She doesn't like anybody, and they're like, but doesn't that make you? I said, no, she is not gay at all. She's just not interested in anything, but she's not gay. It was kind of like when Mandi and I got together, and there were some other people, and they were alluding to the fact that, ATX is jealous of this, or ATX likes this girl that way. And I was like, are you kidding me? Mandi is not gay. She's just not. It's not anything bad. It's not homophobic. It's not, she just isn't. She's not gay. So something like that doesn't bother me when people are like, oh, I think she had thoughts for this. No, she didn't. That is literally ridiculous. I've been in bed with her many times, and she is, I'm not going to say it because it's gross, but she loves it. She's not gay. She's not gay. And yeah.
Hey, Cajun Kev, how are you? I'm not.
Any
my
point is,
I may have done with my cousin does not translate into me.
But so my point is when she says stuff like, I dress like a lesbian, it is meant as, it's obvious. She said that to make herself sound like, I dress to be not sexual. I dress because I'm not turned on when I dress that way. That's how she meant it. It is so obvious. So, if you are somebody that is bisexual or gay, you wouldn't say, I wouldn't say something like, if I'm a gay man, I wouldn't say, well, I dress gay.
Yeah.
Of course. But, so that's what I mean. That statement was like, when she said that's what I mean by that. Is because she's not gay and she's wanting people. She doesn't understand that by saying it that way, it's offensive.
Yeah,
it's very offensive to say that. But to her, she's just saying that I'm trying not to dress sexual. I don't dress sexual.
TLA said, okay, just one more time for the ones in the back. You've said it before, but when she shaved her head and blamed it on meds, how did that happen?
She shaved her head and she just posted a picture, or Paula did. That was before anything on YouTube. That was when we were living on Grandview Drive in Sneed's Ferry. When we were living in that time frame was when she was living in the house next to the neighbor that she was calling on her phone line and sending him to. That was in that house. And she either dyed her hair or she went and had it done. I don't remember how she did. I think she dyed her hair and it came out green. And her hair was green, so she shaved that shit off. That's what happened. Then her narrative was locks of love, or she had that she had cancer. She had a bunch of different narratives. But the thing was, and I was sitting in the bathtub when she did it. She came in, she didn't like her hair, so she grabbed a razor and she just shaved it all off because it was green. There's the story. That's it.
And it never changes when he tells it.
That's it.
So when you looked over and she was doing it, we're like, what are you doing?
No, I was so used to it. I was like, great. Can you make sure you just sweep it all up? And, or not, I'll get it.
And it was green?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a blonde. You guys know, like when you try, if you go for a certain blonde,
put an ash in it, it'll turn green.
And if you fuck it up, it'll turn green. It looked green. She looked like Kermit.
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't watch that. Mm-hmm. That's the best advice we can give to her as well. You get yourself all twisted when you watch us. Don't watch us. Don't watch it, right? Like, just don't watch us.
And see,
you'll be much happier if you don't.
TLA asked a question, and I'll answer those truths. I'll answer, no, this is what really happened. Without getting into, things that are too personal. Because even though she does it to me, I don't feel like it's right to do it back.
It's because you're a good person.
I just don't. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cool.
A lot. If you try to color anything with ash in it, that's why if you're gonna really do something dramatic with your hair, it's easier just to go to I go to a hairstylist no matter what. I've messed my hair up so many times and spent so much money trying to fix it that I told Sean when we got together, if I ever tell you I know how to do my hair and let's go to Sally Beauty, abort mission.
You tried once, right, with us?
I colored it dark because I didn't have we had just got the apartment and stuff, and I wasn't going. So I did it dark, but that was why. And now it's going back blonde again. That wasn't even my intention, but that's a whole.
And I think there was a version of that where she said that I accused her, like I put her down, like I said it was green. I'm fucking colorblind, dude. I'm colorblind. When it was like, it's green, and I was like, I couldn't tell. I mean,
it's got a tint to it that's like.
Yeah, but I didn't tell her it was green.
Yeah.
She was just going to town, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, it's green. I'm like, oh, here we go. I got a crazy bald wife now.
She actually did look bad bald. I will give her that.
She did pull it off.
She did pull it off.
She did. And of course, as a good husband, I tried to tell her that too. You don't have to put a wig on. You look okay. Unlike, say, Feudy Beauty. I think she's horrible bald.
Yes. Negs lost his Twitch channel too, I heard someone have said. I don't know about his YouTube channel.
He lost his YouTube channel a long time ago.
Yeah, Sean clapbacks are awesome. That's why I was like, we have a tip jar for Sean. We're not selling for money or whatever, but sometimes when he really gets going, I'm like, that's why we have a tip jar, Sean. But that was the honest to God truth of what happened. I find it interesting that hey Sarah Miles. I find it interesting that while you were kissing, you did appear to be into it. That bothered. No, I'm just kidding. It was before me, but she's looking at the camera.
Yep. That's the worst thing about
checking her
sure we'll take a picture for maybe a thumbnail or whatever, you've seen us when we do our thumbnails and we're kissing or whatever.
Yeah.
It is, but when she's kissing me, so if she's kissing me, so the camera is wherever, and if it doesn't end up right, we'll just take another picture. But it's really, you know, when you're with somebody that every time you lean in for a kiss, they're like, every time you lean in, they're like,
yeah, it's weird.
You know,
it's very strange. And the other thing is, if you're going to check the view, check your view, make sure it looks good, then divert your eyes back and click the picture.
Yeah.
It's so, like, was so strange.
Yep.
And it probably was a kiss that you didn't even initiate. No, I'm just kidding. You're a very sweet guy. You probably did. That was your little G.I. Jane.
But what I always had to live with was like, that's a perfect situation. So she comes in, she has some kind of manic moment or whatever, she shaves her head. So I'm like, oh, okay. She shaved her head. But what you have to live with is, what was hard to do was the stories that they would come up with that they were going to tell. It's like, well, this is my locks of love. I was like, that's a bullshit story though. You know, just tell them the truth. The truth will do. You know, you dyed your hair, it didn't look good, so you freaked out and you shaved it. That's good. No, I lost it because I have cancer. That's fucked up. Don't do that. You know, and that's constantly, I had to constantly be like, wow. You know, try to support that all the time. You know, wow. And that was another one that there's a million stories. It's like, this is what happened. It's okay that that's what happened.
Yeah, the truth will do. It's
okay that's what happened.
Yeah.
But it never was, so.
And you can't have very good karma when you make stuff like that up.
Well, the thing is when you tell a lie, and you guys all, you know, if you've ever told a lie, especially like to your parents or in school or whatever, you have to tell more lies to back up your stories. You know, so if you have a story about being late for work or doing whatever, and then you say you called in sick, you got to be sick, and you got to remember that you were sick. You can't 6 months later talk about, remember that day? Well, you know, I was at the ball game. Well, you had called in sick that day, you see? And so if it's really, you know, so you have to remember those lies, and then you have to back up your lies. Life is much easier when you're just telling the truth.
Right.
You know, it
like that you're not staying with your daughter because I'm quite sure you didn't turn her mantle into a bar. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. It's a counter you turn into an extended stay.
So if you're the spouse of somebody or a significant other of somebody that's always lying and you're trying to support them, it's like you can't keep up with it. So you just tend to not say anything.
Especially when you're a decent freaking person. And I know you're like, I'm not going to go, yeah, I'm great, but you're a decent dude.
You know, so thank you. So, you know, like when I would do my vlogs and, you know, I vlogged well. I mean, you can go back and flip through them all again. And I, you know, every once in a while I was like, Mandi, I just on my history, it was my Tomahawk Sean talks about whatever. And it got all these views, you know, or whatever, got 3,000 views. And the thing is like, I could spin anything, you know, okay, look at this crazy bitch over here. She's doing this totally moronic thing. I'll think of something to say on a vlog, and I would do that.
And he did.
And while I was doing it, I'm literally covering her ass and doing whatever and smoothing it over, and she's right behind my back doing something else dumb.
Yeah.
All the time. When we were friends, you know, I think I was working at one of the convenience stores, and Mandi, when I only knew her as Mrs. ATX, was like, hey, that's a cool vlog, Sean, but you know what she's doing right now? And I was like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
I did a masterful vlog. Everybody watched it. They're like, all right. And then I'm at work at 10 o'clock that night, and she's undoing everything that I did, everything that I spun. And it's like, well, you know.
Yeah. You were good at it.
There's the truth bombs. You know, that's the way it is.
You were good at it.
No.
I mean, you were good at it. You don't have to spin stories for me. Well, not most of the time. Sometimes, like when I call someone a loser and it just slips out of my mouth, and he's like, okay, we probably need to do some damage control on that. But he is a loser. He's like, I know, but we don't do that. Yeah, we don't say it.
Very
like,
rarely.
Oh, we don't? Okay.
The biggest thing with Mandi is that sometimes she'll blurt something out and it's like, okay, all right, that was a little mean.
James Clark posted a karate video. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it.
Hey, yeah.
The dojo.
That's got to be.
She did. She had free damage control and PR by someone who knew how to do damage control and PR from a war zone.
I mean, I did it in Iraq for a regiment, you know, for 1st Armored Division and 2nd Cav. I get it. I know how it works.
And then the cockamania story that someone wanted her to clean their dildos in their closet or something, and then she was like, I'm pretty sure she wanted me. Nobody asked you to clean their dildos, you Dilrod. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that.
There's not a... Could you imagine that?
She's like, well, she asked me to vacuum the closet.
And so if you go back here, these are the glass ones, and these are the plastic, and these are the latex and rubber ones.
Yeah.
I have a different cleaner for each one.
There's a couple telltale signs that are when you know that there's about to be a stream of bullshit that comes out of her mouth. One of them was, I think it's hilarious. Isn't it hilarious? Okay, bullshit's coming out.
Yeah, here it
like
comes.
that's always the tagline. Or it's just so funny. It's so funny. What's so funny?
Like Rick Sykes. Have you guys checked out Rick Sykes yet? Have you guys had a chance to do it? He'll always, every story's like, and we're just going along, we're having the time of our lives.
I'm having a blast.
Basically,
people use him
we had really
for his
good
connections.
We had really good chemistry, and you know, we were having the time of our life. I'm 75, she was 19. And
right, Moxie?
And after about the 3rd date, she'd throw the L word out. How many times has he done that narrative? Like 5 times.
And it's to get back at his ex-fiance. Yeah, isn't it funny? That's one of them. And there's other ones when you know a stream of bullshit's about to come out, but that's the main one. It's like, what was the... Can you imagine having a husband that sits on the couch all day and talks to women? I guess I can imagine it. I don't have one.
Right, I can imagine it.
I mean, I can certainly imagine it, but he's at work. So...
One of her dirty secrets now.
No, he's not.
I don't even know what that means. Like, you know, like what? Everything about her is a dirty lie. So I mean, I don't even know what.
I don't think there's anything like off the top of like nothing that would be. You just I don't know. He wouldn't do it, especially if it's medical or something.
Yeah, it's not.
He's no longer, that's exactly it. It doesn't matter whether me and Gabby are friends or Clint and Sean are friends. They have never spoken to each other. But,
it was worth a try. You're right. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, I wasn't trying to say that to be mean. It just.
I think when you told about how you separated and she immediately saw you took the pictures down of you and Jessica and she pulled over on the side road. Yeah. That was kind of a dirty secret to call you. Yeah. And Sean was like, well.
That was like a thing where you have somebody getting a guy when he's down, you know, vulnerable and down, and, you know, letting yourself be a rebound, but then just not letting them go afterwards. I mean, that seems to be a recurring theme, you know.
You've pretty much said if it hadn't been for the fact that she put her talons in you, you and Jessica would have gotten back together.
No, I don't know. Oh,
you don't think so?
I don't know.
Possibly, though.
Yeah, I haven't let myself go too far down that road. It was a good thing that we didn't get back together, so.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a good thing that we're together.
That's right.
She thinks you two are sitting on that couch 24/7. No, bitch, they have a... Yeah, first of all, this couch, this is all it's for. Right here, what we're doing.
It's the only reason we've ever been... Well, Ellie likes to sleep on this couch.
Yeah, Eleanor likes to sleep on it.
So literally, you can only see to about right here. But so if you could pan all the way down, Mandy's got her leg over my lap, and I'm rubbing her leg right now.
That's why he's distracted.
That's literally what's happening as I'm rubbing her inner leg thigh.
Stop. Anyway,
she's
that's
like,
crazy.
Stop.
No, it's just before he gets. It's been missing. What did she pawn the necklace? What necklace though are y'all talking about?
Oh,
what necklace
Sarah's
was it?
chasing a 1-year. You got to keep up with those 1-year.
Oh, I haven't. You're right. That Apple Watch ain't been on that wrist in a while. She used to take pictures at hotel rooms in lingerie, and she'd have the Apple Watch on to get her credit for her.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine hooking up with a one-nighter and she's got her Apple Watch? I just want to get credit for the cardio. That's I want to make sure I've got the cardio credit.
It's freaking 3 minutes of cardio. The what do you get for an Apple Watch though? What are they worth right now? Like that first gen? Not much.
I don't know. I have no idea. I know when I got I gave it to my daughter, but it was about a what, a $400 or $500 watch?
But I'm talking, but it's different if you pawn it.
Not a lot.
Like even if you sell it secondhand, like on Marketplace, you only get about half of what it's worth, unless it's brand new. Seabreeze
comes in as that Varuk something vagina, whatever name it is. She admitted that was her. She's like, hey, it's me,
Old
Seabreeze.
200. Moxie would know. She knows.
You can still get 200 for pawning it.
The basic rule that I've been told, basic rule, is they'll only pawn for a third of what they expect to get for it.
She lost it. Oh.
So if you have something like a TV that you paid $100 for the TV, you're not going to get $300 in pawn. You're going to get what they're going to sell it for. So let's say they take $150 off of the $900 of a brand new one for you, and they sell it for $750. Then you'll get a third of that in pawn. Sense. You know, $250 you'll get in pawn. That's why, I mean, that's the only pawn shops can't. They may give you a little bit more if you, like that's if you sell it to them. That's if you pawn it to them. Now, if you sell it outright to them, you may get a little more for it if you just sell it. So,
did you see Gaga guy? She was all over him. He wasn't interested. And she keeps calling him Gaga, whatever. He's a Georgia fan. So when it's Georgia. She says, hey, Gaga, Grandpa, but it's not what it's supposed to be.
Georgia or something.
Because he's a Georgia fan. Yeah, like whatever. So, but she kept going, ooh, give me a call. And he was in there a few times giving her support. She goes, oh, I love your, oh, look at you. Come on, click the link. Gone.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to not come on so strong.
You can smell the desperation through the...
Yes. Gaga Peepaw. That's what it is. So I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's something with the Georgia.
Oh.
Like, Georgia.
Come on, Bulldog fan. Be better. You can be better.
And Sarah's right. She says you reverse anything that she says, and that's the truth. You're absolutely right. I honestly, like, if she's got thriving businesses or she's able to turn a profit soon, look, more power to her. Honestly, I could give a shit less. We have no connection to her. But I would imagine if you do have a thriving business or two, a dildo shop and a cleaning service, you aren't still selling ass on OnlyFans. That's my thing. When you said
three businesses.
When you said you didn't want to do it anymore, that your body was worth more than that, but you've gone back to doing it, I don't think everything is as it seems.
And if you have other income, it's easier to come out here and not be desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell the people that this is their bread and butter, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah. I don't think she would be so desperate. I mean, I haven't watched that personally, like you described it. But and also it's the priorities, what you do with your income. If you're trying to pay rent and trying to pay car insurance, you're not blowing your lips up with whatever.
Yeah.
Either. That was another big frustrating thing, is that, that was another big frustrating thing. It was like, let's go spend this but then get evicted.
But you said Braden had a pretty good mind for business. He's
got a great mind for business. He had to because he didn't learn it from anywhere. He learned it himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But like he would be like, okay, if you're gonna do it, this is what you need to do, and it never got. He
never listened. Like when she took this $6,000 insurance settlement from me, and I say that now that I'm not her husband, but so the insurance settlement that she took that was supposed to come from my condo, she went and blew it all on like things for a business that's like way down the road, like brochures and all kinds of like banners and stuff. But she literally didn't have a business yet. So like instead of going and taking a simple $50 and registering with, the Chamber of Commerce and getting a business license And, you know, when you're doing something like he tried to tell her that, and so did I, because when you're doing like a concierge business or something like that, you spend a lot of the first year and a half not making any money. You know, you're out there, you know, meeting and greeting and giving samples and doing things and volunteering your time. You're not just cranking out brochures.
And you said there was all misspellings in it and all kinds of stuff.
They were cheap as fuck. and it was like.
Was that the Patra Smythe?
I don't remember which one it was. It probably was, but it was like you stole all this money to, you know, buy a bunch of shit that you were never going to do on a business that was never going to, because number one, you don't listen, and we could have taken that money and, you know, done something else, like whatever, like fixed a car up or did whatever to get ready for a business venture. Make sure you have, you know, reliable transportation, make sure, you know, whatever it might be. But she didn't ask anybody. She didn't confer with anybody. She took the money from her husband and then blew it all.
And by the time that you found out the truth, she got you a used laptop, and what was the other thing?
She gave me like $150 and bought me and then got a used laptop for me. That was it. That's all I got for it. And the thing is you're so beat down at this time. It's just that's what your life is.
I can't.
It was like I'm never gonna get ahead. I'm never gonna get. It doesn't matter. You know, like if I won $50,000 on a lottery ticket, it's gone. It would be taken from me. It was so sad. It was sad.
We used to, when he was going through the divorce, we used to talk about, okay, if you win Powerball, what would you? He's like, I would be like, here's 50,000 or 100,000, go away.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, I would enough to that they wouldn't ask. Like, here's $1 million. Here's $1 million. Just
she would have not contested it anymore.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, and so we've been talking about this. I don't know why she thinks that she is the only one that's allowed. Like she says, they talk about us all the time or whatever. This is talking about you. Mm-hmm. The bullshit that you come out with because you literally talk about Sean within the first 5 minutes, every single stream, you're already talking about Sean. And it doesn't matter whether it's bullshit abuse stuff or whatever it is. It literally starts in the first 5 minutes. There's something wrong with that.
If you're on the outside looking in, or you don't like Mandi or whatever, and the comments are,
yes.
Could you imagine talking about your husband's ex? You know, can you imagine talking about him, you know, 3 years later, whatever? And it's like, it's not even like that. This is almost like a YouTube beef now.
Right.
It's just a YouTube beef.
Right.
It isn't even.
It's gotten to the point where there's so little emotion involved in it that it's like, for her, there's clearly a lot of emotion involved in it. And like I said, I get it. You thought he'd come back and he didn't.
And it wasn't this heartbreaking, like, marriage that I left. You know, it wasn't. That's the other thing when people say, imagine talking about this and that. No, it was public.
Very public.
She smeared it all over the place.
Very public.
Very public.
When she says she wasn't in our marriage, she doesn't know. We were all in your marriage.
You know, so it's
all 65 people here.
That's the difference between like me talking about her ex all the time. Yeah. That's why I don't talk about her ex 3 years later, because he has they limit their communication to co-parenting. He's on living his happy life, and she's on living her happy life.
And when I tell you he made some serious mistakes, my ex did. He did. Yeah. I don't have to come on here and tell everybody. Good, bad, true, or not true. I don't have any emotion towards that anymore. My life is here, so in the first 5 minutes, I don't have to go, well, my ex-husband used to shit all over the toilet, so I'm good at cleaning that. And everybody would be like...
Yeah, but you're not with him anymore.
Right, good.
But you're not with him.
So if he's shitting all over the bathroom, he's shitting in my bathroom now.
Right. And that's the difference.
Don't worry
so when you have these parties out there going, Mandi ATX just always talks about her. It's like it's a YouTube thing now. It's a YouTube beef.
It's not even... Yep, that's all it has to do with. I'm trying to remember. You'll have to catch it. I don't remember.
Well, let me see.
I've talked about, when it was over, it was over. And Sean kind of felt that way about her. When it was over, it was over. That doesn't mean that there wasn't a lot of toxicity and emotion that went into it. But when Sean finally realized what she is, what he had gone through, and fell in love with me, that was, I mean, he'd have to answer for himself, but that's called being finished with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's being done with it. So I think that, so she either needs to accept that there's some sort of pathology there, like narcissism or borderline, that's causing her to hold on to these exes like that and keep talking about them. Either that or she's still in love with them. It's one or the other. It's either you have a disorder where you keep talking about them or you still love them. You certainly don't hate them because they would be a non-issue.
But I would answer that by saying it's not the still love thing. I don't think that's a quality that she can feel. But
Yeah.
I was definitely, it's like she lost me like she lost a nice house.
Yeah.
She lost to me like someone took her car away from her.
Reese says that's funny. She said I said I was gonna offer her PayPal money for her to quit talking about you for a week, but she said she couldn't do it. Send it this way.
Did she really said she couldn't do it?
I don't know. She might have.
She didn't just lie to you and say that she
Yeah, Letitty does have way better moves. Letitty, get out of jail. Come tell us what you've been doing.
Letitia, you need to give us some content that Moon Bear can review so she doesn't have to go find your family members that have nothing to do with the drama and put their business on.
She'll go on whatever it is, ancestry.com and do a DNA trace and be like, do you know that you're related to? No, I had no idea. Well, you are.
Could you imagine if I was doing some stupid stuff on here and all of a sudden somebody was like, I have Sean's brother here. You know, my brother would be like,
what?
Go Dogs.
Yeah.
Right?
You'd be like, I love my brother.
And did you just go through this? He'd be like, what? What am I doing here? You know?
Yeah, they don't.
So,
yeah, we don't. As a matter of fact, the family doesn't talk about her at all.
it's like boundaries. It's called boundaries, you know.
She is a thing completely in the past. You ready to go night-night?
I'm pretty tired.
I've been
Soy
offering her
Brown's over here.
$500 a month if she keeps the lid on her sexually inappropriate behavior. She cannot do it.
Well, that's got to be what? About a dozen OnlyFans subscriptions. If you're going to give her 500,
Is she still charging $40 for those a piece?
is that so that would be 12 and a half subscriptions.
I don't know what she's how much of a percentage she keeps or whatever. Or if she's still doing that. Is she still doing well, probably nobody will know, and if they did, they wouldn't say. Is she still doing the
Someone asked Angelo.
vids?
He's a subscriber,
he
right?
He subscribes to her, yeah.
Yep.
Said he did.
Someone ask Angelo what the content's like.
Yeah, she gets about $35 per subscription a month. So when you think about it,
Damn,
let's say,
baby, 35 subscription.
I know. Let's say back in the beginning, let's say she got 25 people. I guess that's a good.
That would be what? Okay, so 40 times 10 is, then 20 is 800, and that's $1,000 if you have 25 people. It's $1,000 if you're doing it at $40.
If you can
each.
maintain all those people.
At $40 a subscription, 25 of them is $1,000.
Wow. Yeah, and plus, Mama Ricky was right. You don't want to go pay for anything. It's all over the internet.
And you know what? That is a good point, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a YouTube drag-a-bitch clunka point. That's a good point. And celebrities, musicians,
wow.
when LimeWire was out and all the music sharing stuff where you could steal the music, that was their point. It's like, why are people going to go out and buy our records when they can just get it for free?
Yeah. That's true.
There is literally billions of dollars spent every year trying to stop, people that have trademark stuff from being.
You don't see a lot of Trisha Paytas's stuff. She's got a whole slew of people that go through, and anytime it gets, now I know it slips through on some things, But when they go and they report and take it down.
Oh yeah, Stitching Girl. If there's CDs, like I had a huge CD collection too. That's another one of my heartbreaks. Is when I left before the YouTube thing. When we left the rent house, I probably had 300 or 400 CDs. Right. I had a wall-to-wall thing in my little man cave, and I had a bunch of CDs and hundreds of books. I mean, it was 50 years. Well, at that point, 40 years of my life. All these military manuals and stuff that have been outdated, and those are all gone. So, in eBay, I mean, if you just want like Bon Jovi "Slippery When Wet" CD, you can go on eBay and buy it for $4. And it's not about playing it in a CD player anymore or whatever. It's about having that nostalgia. I'm very nostalgic. So yeah, I still buy CDs sometimes. I haven't in a long time, but.
Sarah said, yeah, Sean, Clint married baby daddy number 1 and married baby daddy number 2, and we've all moved on from her, and the only real good women, she can't handle it. She's alone like the loser she is. They've all got good women now. I don't know about Bob, but.
It's all, with the beef with her, that Mandi and y'all, it's all like what came first, the chicken or the egg. It doesn't matter. It's not even about.
I see it kind of like when Takedown Man said you have beef. I don't have beef with her because she doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like I would have to be on the same level.
Him. Has anyone seen him since we freaking?
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. He's in Samoa. He said
he's in Samoa. He doesn't have time.
He doesn't have time. But yeah, I can't have beef with someone who absolutely doesn't equate to anything in the scheme of things. Although every time y'all talk, she talks about us, we get more subs and views. There's that.
Men want to see real breasts. They don't want to see a sex.
Sean says that all the time.
I mean, the aesthetics of a constructed breast, they're cool. I mean it's we know people here that have fake boobs and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with it, but they if they're going to be fake, they should be fabulous. They shouldn't be fake and subpar, exactly.
And be appropriate for a 45 going on 50-year-old.
Right.
You've always said that.
But we could rattle off 2 or 3 names of people that have fake boobs and be like, nice boobs. I mean, Molly Golightly throwed her boobs all over the place. Those were fake, but they were okay. They were good looking boobs.
But nobody has better ones than Savage.
Huh?
Savage has the best.
I don't want to be disrespectful to my wife.
But Savage does. She does have the best.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen them like.
Well, no, nobody's seen them
right,
in all
but
their glory,
yeah. I mean, the way she dresses and this and that, she keeps them. Keep people guessing.
Well, they're the gummy bear ones that last.
Yeah, see, I don't.
And she probably would have them altered if they needed to be. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the whole point. You need to maintain them.
You have to.
Nobody wants fake boobs that look like worn out real boobs.
Yeah.
I mean, real boobs are always real, and they're always pretty fabulous to me.
They're always real. They don't get fake all of a sudden.
They don't get fake.
Real. Yeah, you got to have the money to do it. And Sean said he was planning for the fact that she was going to need to have them updated.
It's $6,000 that she took from me from the insurance money. That was a good chunk of it. That's like 80% of it, right there.
Wow.
They're like $8,000 to fix the one.
And you would have been willing to.
I mean, you know me, baby. If I can, I will.
I know.
That's really stupid. Not to have I bet those brochures are now got left behind somewhere.
You're right, Stitching Girl. Many people are, and a lot of them. I've heard of who was the actress that did that. She was tired of the fact that she had these nice big old boobs. Christina Ricci. And
she had them taken out?
She had them. I think they were real. I don't think they were fake.
Shannon Rose had hers taken out.
But Christina Ricci had a breast reduction. Like her boobs were big and real, and she just reduced them.
Oh.
And there's a girl that we went to high school with, and she had big old boobs, and they were like, how do I say this the right way? They were like almost horribly too big. And they were real.
My sister had a reduction because it hurt her back.
This girl was. I mean, you couldn't. Anyway, she had them reduced, and
If you can prove you have back problems and they have enough documentation, insurance will pay for them to be reduced. You know? Yeah, Bill supposedly popped it.
Every one
and
of
that's
us has
not
popped
true.
It. Every one of us, she's accused of popping.
Really?
Yeah.
The encapsulation. Anyway, you ready to go to bed?
Your doctor can't help you because he lost his license.
Yeah. I would almost think that would qualify for.
You would think that if
pro bono work.
If you got the right attorney.
Yeah.
And you can maintain, get a little bit of coin and tell this attorney, look, this one's pointing into Williamson County, this other one's pointing down into, New Hanover County, and I can't get it fixed.
I can't stop yawning.
One's pointing at 6 o'clock, one's pointing at 10 o'clock. You can look at it, Google it, you'll see them. Then maybe, someone would help.
When it was like, who has your nudes? You're like, Google has your nudes.
Google has your nudes. That's the first guy that has it. She's having an affair with Google. Google. She sent her nudes to Google.
You catch Sean on the right night when he's sleepy, and he's
Yeah, I'm on one. Who said it? Who said it the last? I've been on one the last couple nights, but I'll get some sleep, and I'll be back to my boring self tomorrow.
Exactly. And if it wasn't so fantastically hilarious how irate she gets when he talks about stuff that happened, it wouldn't be quite as entertaining.
Does she get mad at that?
She goes through the stratosphere.
So
she gets the shark eyes.
She's going to get pissed off at the fact that she dyed her hair green and shaved it off and went on a whole.
She blames you on everything.
Had every cancer awareness website. She sent her pictures to say that,
And the thing is, they don't if you shave your head, they don't just take a pile of hair. When they cut your hair, I think they're a little bit more lenient now about if it's been chemically treated, but not very.
Well, that was the other
but
thing
you
about
have to have a ponytail, and they cut the ponytail.
That was the other thing about it. It's like,
yeah, they don't.
Can I give that to Locks of Love? They said, "Oh, they want green hair."
No,
they don't want green hair.
They have to have they have to have it because when they put it on the loom or whatever they do, that's how they do it.
Maybe they could use it for a Halloween costume or something. But anyway, it was green.
And then
like Kermit the Frog green.
But I did that one time. The dog woke me up early. I did that one time, and someone said Mountain Dew would take the green out of it. Mm-hmm. So I went and bought a 2-liter of Mountain Dew and washed my hair in it, and that was a bunch of bullshit. It didn't fix it.
You drank that shit.
No, I washed my hair. It didn't work.
Hey, so we're gonna sign off with a joke.
What joke?
What's long and green and smells like pork?
Long and green and smells like pork?
Mm-hmm. Who knows what's long and green and smells like pork?
Kermit the Frog, something.
Kermit's finger.
Oh my God, because of Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's a good one. That is really cute.
Paul says the beast. Naturally Vane says
Vane.
I do. She pops in right at the end.
I'd never heard that.
TL is laughing.
This other funny one that I heard was like, that the Snow White got fired from Disneyland, right? She kept sitting on Pinocchio's face and making him lie.
She said, lie more, lie more.
Isn't that cute?
Wow. I could think of some jokes. But anyway.
Your jokes are pretty funny usually.
It's because I try to
if you make an
air of seriousness, I'll be like, guess
if you
what?
make a brown cow laugh, will chocolate milk come out its nose?
My daughters used to say that when we were like driving through the country and they'd see
like a horse and Miss Piggy. Yeah, both of them.
They would see a brown cow. That was a special chocolate milk cow.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was very cute.
I used to tell my kids that the ice cream truck was the music truck. They had no idea it had ice cream in it until one of their friends showed them. I'd be like, there's the music truck, dance, dance. And when it would come close enough, we would go in the house. But one day a parent was like, well, come on, I'll get you. And they're like, and they found out there was ice cream in it.
Oh.
Love you guys.
See you guys later. I'm going to get some sleep tonight.
He's going to get some sleep so he can go back to work at...
I just posted a joke.
Dark 30.
Yeah, Karen's like, we should have a joke stream. You guys, get your jokes ready.
Get your jokes ready.
Get your jokes ready. Like and then tomorrow we're going to... And this is why we need to figure out StreamYard.
He's going back to his... We can do a panel.
And then we can be like, so when, Karen wants to come up and tell her joke, she can. She don't just have to put it in the chat.
I wish she would. Karen's got the sweetest voice.
Of course she does.
Her voice sounds just like you'd picture Karen's voice.
Just because that's Karen. And
it's Karen.
it's because she's gonna can tomatoes tomorrow, and her chickens are flourishing. And
we only have fake eggs. Good night, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you
y'all.
for hanging out with us.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Good night.